Hi, everybody. Welcome to another week of Dan and Isaac's Sports Ball Sports Picks. It was kind of a weird week for us, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, you were out of school a couple days because you were sick, and I was out of the country a couple days. So we're recording on Friday. Usually we record on Wednesdays, but today, a little bit different.
In that Thursday game, we decided we can just pick the Steelers. We can go with that one. The Browns win.
Yeah, we were all set to just pick the
Yeah.
Steelers, and yeah, of course the Browns go ahead and win. So shows us what we actually know. Apparently, not very much. Let's talk about last week. How'd things go for us last week?
You were 12-2, and I was 10-4.
12-2. Actually, if I remember right, there was one bonus game that we picked too. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I believe that we picked our fantasy matchup. So I think I was 13-2 because guess who won that? That's right. That's right. We're making a comeback. You're just ready to make some picks, aren't you?
Yeah. Let's just get it.
All right, let's get into it. You want to take the first one tonight?
Sure. Buccaneers, Giants. I will go with the Buccaneers. They will win this one against the Giants.
That was a very simple pick. No analysis there.
No analysis.
Yeah, Buccaneers and against the Giants. I'm not really too excited about this. The Giants this week, they not just benched their quarterback, they outright released Daniel Jones. He is not even on the Giants anymore. They wanted him gone so badly that they just released him. Bad omen for this week. Buccaneers will win. We've got Cowboys visiting the Commanders. This game on paper doesn't look like it should be a very good game. The Cowboys are reeling. They are not playing good football at all. And I don't see any reason that I would pick the Cowboys right now with a backup quarterback going to Washington, D.C., playing the Commanders. Big win for the Commanders.
I also like the Commanders. They're at home. And this Cowboys team does not look like the team they were last year. It's just not a good season for them. They need to do better. They would be really lucky, I would say, to get in the playoffs.
Oh, they're not getting in the playoffs. No chance. No chance.
I'm going with the Commanders.
Okay. Patriots at the Dolphins. Who do you like in that one?
I'm going with the Dolphins at home. I think they're going to get a big win here against the Patriots. I think the win, it's going to involve some waddle in it.
Gonna waddle back and forth like this. Waddle. Is he gonna waddle into the end zone?
Sure. Whatever.
He'll waddle into the end zone. I agree. Dolphins will get the victory in this one. Patriots they're maybe a year or two away from being competitive in that AFC East division. The Dolphins, I don't think they're a great team. I'm not even sure they're a good team, but their playoff hopes are still alive, unlike the Patriots. So playing on their home turf, I will take the Dolphins like you.
Okay, this could be a good game. Vikings-Bears, division game.
This is a division game. I really like this game. When we actually talked about this one as a potential one for our game of the week, maybe more so just because we think it's going to be a competitive game. Bears had a stretch of just playing really poor football, and they nearly broke out of it last week. Nearly got the win. If it wasn't for that blocked kick at the end, the Bears would have knocked off the Packers, which I think would have been a pretty impressive win. So the Bears have another division game with the Vikings this week. There's something in me that tells me I got to pick the Bears this week. I think that the Vikings the last couple weeks haven't kind of just looked so-so. So I'm going to take, in a division home game, I'm going to take the home team, the Bears, to knock off the Vikings. A little bit of an upset here.
I'm going to go with the Vikings, the guest team. I think they will win. Sam Darnold's going to have a good game.
No, he's not. He's still Sam Darnold.
Whatever.
Skol Bears. Skol Bears.
All right, our next matchup, Broncos-Raiders.
We should skip this one. This game stinks. I don't like either of these teams, but the Broncos, actually, they've been really surprising. I got to give the Broncos credit. I thought they were going to be a really, really bad team coming into this year, and now they look like they may very well be a playoff team. I will take the Broncos, the Bears, and the Broncos. Broncos over the Raiders this week.
I'm going to go with the Raiders. Las Vegas will get the win. The Broncos, it might be a close game. I think it will be a close game, but I think the Raiders will pull it out at home.
I just don't know who the Raiders have. They just don't seem like they have a lot of weapons these days. Well, we'll see. Cardinals against the Seahawks. This, I think, could be a fascinating game. If this was in Phoenix, I'd definitely take the Cardinals, but they're traveling up the coast to Seattle, taking on the Seahawks. This is a big division game. The Cardinals are the division leader in the NFC West. If the Seahawks want any chance to stay in this race and stay in the playoff picture, I think they need a win. They're a desperate team, and I think they're going to get it. I think the Seahawks on their home field will knock the Cardinals down a little rung on the ladder, and I think the 49ers are going to be really happy about that. They're going to stay in the mix in that division. So we'll see what happens. Rams also could be still in the mix. Yeah, we'll see what happens with them, but a lot to be decided in the NFC West right after this week when the Seahawks knock off the Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to beat the Seahawks. Like you said, it's going to be a really good game. Division game. It's going to be tight, but I think the Cardinals can pull it out. Big rivalry, but I do think the Cardinals can win this game.
Big game from Kyler Murray?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see.
Eagles-Rams is our next game.
Eagles-Rams at Los Angeles. Thoughts?
I'm going Eagles. I think the Eagles will win.
Yeah. Other than the Lions, I'm not sure there's any team who's playing better football right now than the Eagles. I think they've won, is it 6, 7 in a row maybe even? They are on a roll, and I don't see any reason that they are not going to continue that in Los Angeles, a team that really doesn't have a home field advantage. There's not a whole lot of people who go to SoFi Stadium to watch Rams games. They're usually there to watch the opponent. And this week it'll be Jalen Hurts. I like a big game from A.J. Brown. How do you like that?
I love that.
Yeah, I think your fantasy team would like that.
Mm-hmm.
A.J. Brown, big game.
Should have said that last week when I played you. That would have been a lot better.
We already determined what happened last week. Would you like to recap that one
No,
again?
no,
Okay,
no.
Okay, we'll move on. All right, I love this game. The Har Bowl. Jim Harbaugh versus John Harbaugh. The Har Bowl, they're calling it. This is the first time they've matched up since the Super Bowl when they coached against each other.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, 49ers, Ravens back then. So this is going to be a fun one. I think not only is it interesting because of the coaches involved, but it's going to be interesting because of the teams. The Chargers are playing some good football. They got a really strong defense under Mike Minter. And I'm really tempted to take the Chargers at home. Okay, I guess both the Rams and Chargers are at home. I wonder how often that happens on the same weekend. I will go ahead and take the Jim Harbaugh-led Chargers to knock off the Ravens. A little bit of an upset. You like that pick?
No.
No?
I'm going Ravens. Mar Jackson can throw the ball, but he can also run.
Yep, we've determined that.
Yes. And John Harbaugh will get the win.
Nope. Jim Harbaugh.
Jim.
Well, couple games that we agreed on before we recorded. We'd like the Chiefs to beat the Panthers. I don't know why you wouldn't like the Chiefs to beat the Panthers. We like the Texans over the Titans and the Lions over the Colts. Those seem like easy games for us to pick. So those are who we took in those. And that leaves us with our game of the week. You want to introduce our game of the week?
49ers Packers.
49ers visiting Green Bay. I don't think the weather is going to be real great. At least it's not around here anymore. Getting cold, getting around Thanksgiving. That's when the Packers usually start playing their best football. And I think last week going to Chicago was maybe not indicative of how good the Packers team is. I know the 49ers are getting healthy, but the Packers, there's just a certain mystique, I think, playing at Lambeau Field. I will take the Packers by a final score of 27-16. Packers over the Niners. I also am not quite sure if Brock Purdy is going to play this week for the Niners. He's been a little banged up this week. We'll see if he takes the field. That could have a big impact on that game.
And that could change my pick depending on if he plays or not.
Well, he'll definitely play then. Pick the Niners. Who do you want?
Now that you say he might not be playing.
No, he might not be, but he might be.
Yeah, I said he might not be. Whatever.
Who are you picking?
I'm picking the Packers because...
If I hadn't said anything about that, if you'd have done your own research, you'd have picked the 49ers.
Yes.
I got to stop giving you all these nuggets of information before you make your picks. All right, what's your score?
I'm going to go with a tight one here. I'm going to go... I'm going 14-17.
Okay. So we're both picking the Packers, although we both really, really like to see the Packers lose, right? In a perfect world, the Packers would lose, but we're picking them to win this week. So we'll see what happens. I have a 4-game lead for the season. You started off in the lead. I've kind of slowly crept back, but it's only a week away from you being able to get right back in this thing. We'll see what happens.
See you next time on Sports Ball Picks, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for cheering me on to a fantasy win last week. Good night, everybody.